Drowned by Bring Me the Horizon. I have to actually give this a review for two reasons. First of all, after reviewing last year's Sempiternal, I said that I was interested to see what this band was going to do next, so I'm going to follow up with that. They have a new album that's supposed to come out in December, and chances are we're going to be covering it here on this channel, so this is almost like a formal introduction to the album. And secondly, the requests. You guys blew up my mailbox over on the Facebook page requesting that I review this and touch it. So I'm going to do that as a reward for all of you guys and for all the Bring Me the Horizon fans out there. Now, one of the things that I really talked about in a very positive light for Bring Me the Horizon last year with their new album at that point was the fact that it seemed like they were a fresh band, one that definitely tried to forge an identity for themselves and really did some things that were different. They took some leaps, they took some risks, and it definitely seemed to pay off for them. With this song right here, it's nothing but clean singing, which is definitely something that, whenever you consider Bring Me the Horizon's history, almost seems like kind of a strange idea. And here's the way that it kind of comes off. The music video for the song reminds me a little bit of, I believe it was In Bloom by Nirvana, which was a take of the old Beatles ideas, only this one's kind of taken with a little bit more of a modern vintage take, also with a bit of an exorcism side angle to go along with it. And that's kind of a weird, strange parallel for the song, the whole exorcism idea. It's almost like somewhere along the way these guys had an exorcism performed on them, and they've just adopted more and more of this clean singing philosophy into their music. It's funny because this song reminds me of a lot of the different anthems that we often chastise and castrate on this channel. It's one of those that kind of seem reminiscent to a lot of the different anthems from the pop-punk or even the emo department a little bit, although with a little bit more of a melodic and a more heavy edge, something that is a little bit more suited for the metal multiverse. However, the one thing I must say is that, vocally speaking, this sounds like a lot of those different bands, you know, the Sleeping with Sirens of the world, mixed in with a little bit of Linkin Park. The clean voice actually reminds me a little bit of Linkin Park, and they almost kind of use that echo effect on the vocals that definitely seems to remind me a little bit of that twinge, although it doesn't have the trademark whine that Chester Bennington has. It's a trademark whine that's actually a little bit closer to, like I said, the more emo crowd. Does that make this necessarily a bad song? Not by itself. The song feels just kind of mediocre. It's one of those songs that really feels like it's trying to really out of the gate establish the fact that this is going to be an album that's going to be transitional for the band. One that really is going to showcase its difference, and I think that this is going to be one that is going to really cause a little bit of division among fans, but hardcore fans will know that this clean singing approach is something that they've done before, just not really with a 100% effort. This is instead something that they've kind of used, you know, in places that really have required it, and have been able to counteract that with, you know, the heaviness and the more death metal style vocals in order to really interact a savage sort of duality. Kind of a Jekyll and Hyde effect. Instead, the song comes off just, I don't know, kind of very typical for the genre. It comes off as very typical by a band that kind of shares a fan base with a lot of the, you know, bands that I just listed, or a lot of the genres that I just listed. A lot of people that are picking up some of those different albums by the Sleeping with Sirens and you know, Pierce the Veils of the world, or, you know, even if you want to go so far as to say the Escape the Fates, the Alisanas, the Data Remembers, are also the same people that are picking up Bring Me the Horizon records, so it's almost feeling like adaptability. For those people who are buying Bring Me the Horizon records that were also listening to, you know, Whitechapel, this may feel like a real departure from the medium. This may actually feel a little bit more like maybe one of their favorite bands is kind of taken to the wayside. You know, those people that perhaps were sharing these purchases with Asking Alexandria, or, you know, something along those lines, maybe a Within the Ruins, will probably feel like Bring Me the Horizon has kind of distanced themselves from them. But either way, this is a song that definitely is interesting, and it leaves many questions for me about this album. It leads me to wonder whether or not I'm going to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Sempiternal. Overall, the song itself is just kind of meh. It's just kind of out there. It follows a very, you know, basic approach. Downright typical. Overall, I kind of just, I respect it, but to me it's just kind of average. Really the best part about this song is whenever they take the instrumental break, and I'm not sure if that's video only or if that's going to be on the actual song, where you kind of get that elevator music, you know, interpretation of one of the main riffs of the song. That part's actually pretty neat. I have some respect for that. But aside from that, this was kind of typical. What did you guys think about Drown? What do you guys think about Bring Me the Horizon? Are you excited about their new record, or is this a band that you just don't give a shit about? Let me know in the comments below. Comment and subscribe, and tell your friends. Share this one around. Let's talk about it.